Hey traders, John Howell here. So today, more weakness in the gold market. We're starting to see a potential false breakout and a bit of a move back up in the dollar. Also, we can see a lot of green across the screen when it comes to the stock market as well too. And there's a lot of things that I want to share with you there as well. So let's actually get straight into today's session. I want to start off with the good old gold market here. Starting off with. So the first thing we can see here by looking at the gold chart from here is we can see how we've actually, basically since the start of the year, we actually did nothing through here. And then we've started this very strong sort of upward move from here. And so we can see that we definitely had a lot of sort of panic or FOMO coming into the gold market from here. Very strong move back to the upside, as you can see. And you can see that we were actually in sort of a very nice upward trend. If we're looking at the last, say, 6 months with the data, we were in a very nice sort of trending motion. But then we started to go really parabolic. And that's when you want to start to be a bit cautious about your own trading, right? We can see here that it went from nothing doing here. And then we had a very nice, see how it was a very nice sort of, sort of upward trend from here. And then we actually went parabolic to the upside from here. So, you could, when it comes down to the short-term analysis anyway, the very short term, the big picture, and for you guys that will follow me, if you guys that have been following me, you know the big picture, I'm actually expecting probably a pretty significant move on the downside when it comes to gold now, only because it's over Red Rover when it comes to gold. Now, here's the thing when it comes to the gold market is on a short-term level, we're probably going to start to make our way back down to just this trend line down the bottom here, right? And then we're probably going to get a bit of a bounce. So there's actually probably at least a bit of a drop down to here, and then we'll probably get a bounce. But that bounce is probably going to be very short-lived, because then we're probably going to start to see this thing roll over. And then once it does break this level here, then we're probably going to start to make our way back down towards these levels down here. So there's a few areas, guys, for you guys that are actually trading gold right now. And so you can see those different levels from there. So once again, guys, that's what I'm seeing. Come down through to here, bounce off this gold level from here, and then we start to make a bit of a bounce, and then we start to make our way back down towards these lows down the bottom here. And on the back of that, if we actually look at the dollar market, the dollar, this is the dollar right here. And I did a video, I think it was yesterday, on the dollar, and I said we're probably going to get a false breakdown followed by a reversal back to the upside. And I was looking at this from this weekly chart perspective here. And as you can see, we've actually had a very big move to the downside. Now, typically when the idea of a false breakout pattern happening in the markets tends to happen when we have very little pullback and we just go straight through it after a period of movement, right? So let's just say, for example, I'll give you an example. There's two different scenarios that happens, right? Let's say this is resistance and this is resistance. Scenario number one, scenario number two. Scenario number one is that we actually move up, and we keep moving up, and we keep moving up and keep moving up, and then we break it through there. If we get scenario number one, this is likely to be a false breakout to the upside, and then we tend to get the reversal. The reason why is because it's already been going up for quite some time. But scenario number two is that we could rally up, spend a bit of time maybe going through a bit of sideways, and then we get the breakout. Scenario number two says, okay, we got a bit of sideways phase through here, and this is like refueling. So this is energy using. So when the market's moving in a direction, it's using a lot of energy, and then we break it. So we've already been going up. But if we come off the back of going sideways, which is building energy, and then we break, we've actually built the energy for this thing to have a nice move. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you flip it upside down, you can see what actually happened with the dollar, right? The dollar actually broke to the downside from here, and you can see it just continued down from here. So this here is likely to be that false breakout to the downside, and then we're likely to see this move coming back up to at least back up towards the middle range from here, and then we can start to see what's going on from that there. So this is the dollar from here, from low to high. So I wouldn't be too surprised to start to see this dollar get back up towards the top up there. And so this is all switching, as you can see. This is the weekly chart here. If we go down to the daily charts, you can see what's happening now. We're actually pausing right now, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing start to have a move back to the upside. And again, that's probably putting a lot of pressure on the gold market from there. And just a reminder as well too, that if I go back to my other chart, which is the TC2000, and I bring up this time frame, just a reminder of where we are on the big picture of things. So this is obviously the weekly charts, and let me just remove that. As you can see, where we are on the big picture things is that we don't get too far away. If we get too far away from the moving average, we're very overbought, and then we're likely to at least come back down towards the moving average. I'm expecting this to be the end of this massive bull move, and we're already starting to get this. Look at this massive rejection reversal candle here. Complete and utter rejection from here, and we're probably likely to start to see this coming on the downside. You saw my short-term analysis from here on gold, but then this is a bit of a longer-term analysis. The longer-term analysis for me is at least on a longer-term level, we're probably going to start to make our way down to possibly there, or maybe even down towards those levels through there. So that's that level through there. Let me go back to the daily charts here for a minute. So yeah, so we can see there's actually a few levels down through here now. So I'm just trying to get the angles from here. So yeah, so we're probably seeing through there. So probably we're going to see like a 5 or 6% drop to the downside, break that, and then we may even start to head back down towards these lows down here. So overall, I'm expecting a 20% drop coming out, 20% drop overall coming on the gold market. And I think gold market has done and dusted, and the move has been over, and we're probably going to start to see a lot more movement on the downside from there. If we go have a look at silver right now, silver is actually just very, very, very volatile. And whenever you're trading, guys, whenever you start to get movements like we're getting right now out of silver, as you can see, this is for the last 6 months worth of silver. As you can see, it's just very volatile. When something is very volatile, you want to stay away from it because it gives you very unpredictable moves. Right, we want nice, smooth price action. This very big volatile movement, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? It's very, 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 very volatile from there. Let's go look at the GDX from right now. And if we see from the GDX from a short-term perspective, guys, we can actually see it was actually trending up nicely. Right? It was actually trending up very, very, very nicely. As you can see, it had this low point down to here. We had this support level through here, and it had a bit of a cluster, and then support, and then we had to move back up, and then now we're through here. So I wouldn't be too surprised to actually start to see, looking at the mining stocks, maybe come back down a little bit more through to here. You can actually see that from that low there to that low there. So yeah, so I wouldn't be too surprised to start to see the mining stocks come back into this level through here, and then maybe continue the trend. But we've just gotten too far away from the markets. And we got too far away from at least this on a short-term level, guys. This last 6 months, we can see it was very nicely trending up through here, and then we just got very big move to the upside from there. That's the GDX. That was the GDX. This is the GDXJ, and the same sort of thing, right? There's the support level. There's the resistance broken, and now we had a very big move to the upside. So I wouldn't be too surprised, guys, to start to see this thing actually have a bit of a pullback now to at least down towards, got this whole area down through here somewhere. So probably this whole X marks the spot for this thing to start to come back into just a bit of equilibrium. We actually just got too far away from it. So you can see this is actually, see how this is very nice bull market, but when we start to get too parabolic, that's where you want to be cautious. Looking at the SIL market as well too, and really just the silver mining stocks are actually just getting crushed right now. So much volatility out of the silver mining stocks. Really no real big trend, right? We've got lows, the same low here. From that there, I know some people were really focusing on AG market, and they've been getting crushed lately. I saw some people at the start of the year getting really excited about the AG market, and then they went very quiet, and now we're getting this volatile here. Whenever we get volatile periods, guys, is that we want to try to stay away from those markets. At least wait for some sort of a trend to be in place, right? When the market's like this here, very unpredictable. Wait for the market to start to give you a higher low, so upward trend, right? Or lower highs. If we're doing this through here, very, 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 very unpredictable, and you're going to get your face ripped off, because just like AG, you can see what's going on from that perspective all through there. Let's go look at the Dow Jones, and we'll see what's happening on the short-term level on the Dow Jones. So over the last sort of real short-term level here, we've had this very nice sort of trend line coming down through to here, as you can see. So, and we had a little pop to the upside right now. So we're getting a low. We're starting to we're trying to actually get a bit of a bid here going on with the actual stock market. This sort of level coming up through to here somewhere, as you can see. So we're really squeezing up through here. Depending on what actually happens through here, what actually happens? Do we actually break, and do we start to see a move back up? Because if we do, if we actually start to see this move coming back up to here, then what's probably going to happen is we're probably going to hold and then actually then go for a move and probably have a nice move back up to all-time new highs from there here. But if we hold here right now and we continue to start to see, this type of action where we start to get that, and we start to get something like that, then we're probably going to make another move to the downside because we are still in a downward trend from here. We are still overall flowing to the downside, but we're trying to capture a bit of a bid right now on the Dow Jones. NASDAQ, pretty much the same sort of thing, but we're really trying to capture that bid right now. Low, starting to become a high low here. We're right at this level right now, as you can see. We closed right at that level there. And as you can see, and plus we also have this level coming up through here on the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ 100 here, as you can see, and then we've got this level through here. That's sort of not respecting it now. We definitely do have a lot of support and resistance all through that level through there, as you can see. So depending on what happens through here, this here is the last significant high. So we need to really start to see this thing start to have a big move up. Otherwise, we're probably going to see another leg coming to the downside. S&P 500 and the S&P 500. Actually, today, look at this here. Today came down, almost rejected it at the trend line, and here we are right now. So if I draw a little bit of a support resistance level once again, let me actually just draw. Again, this is real short-term analysis from there to there. We are still, this is the last high, and we are coming down. This could just be a bit of a squeezing pattern. If this is just a bit of a squeezing pattern, we could be getting ready for something like this. And if we get something like that and then get a break to the downside like that, we could be getting ready for another move to the downside because we are in a down, up, lower high, down, up. Are we going to form an overall lower high here and start to see a movement on the downside from there? Let's go look at the actual Russell. And the Russell on a very short-term level basis, as you can see, absolutely and completely rejected that level there, right? Look at that through there, all through there. As you can see, so we had this starting point through here, and you can see it actually rejected it, came up and completely rejected and come down through here. So what actually happens through here? Is this just an overall pullback before we get the run? Are we about to see another run to the downside? So that actually could happen. But if we start to see a movement back to the upside from there, then we're probably likely to start to see that actually having a really nice move back to the upside from there. And last but not least, guys, let me actually bring on the good old Bitcoin for you guys. And Bitcoin's having a really nice move back to the upside. And the really big thing you want to keep an eye on for is always be looking at those weekly charts, because sometimes when we're looking at smaller time frame charts, even the daily charts, we can get a lot of what's called noise through here. But if we can see here, all this is doing is just the overall big trend on the weekly chart is still very, very, very nicely intact to the upside, up and down and up and down and up. I'm actually expecting to see this thing actually have a really nice move to the upside. So there's a bit of an update for you there today, traders. Traders, I'm running a webinar training today, and on that training, I'm going to walk you through all the details to my trading system, how I trade, how I find the markets, how I scan the markets, how I trade the markets when it comes to my options trading, and everything I do when it comes to my personal trading. So if you are interested in that first link in the description there, guys, click on that and go join my webinar that I'm actually running today. And I'll share with you all the details about how I actually trade the markets and my trading pattern that I use. Speak to you soon, guys.